personality of discipleship. That's what we're going to talk about today on Strength for Today. Thanks for being with us. What is a disciple like? What is their personality? How do you know somebody is a disciple? That's what we're going to talk about for the next couple of weeks here on Strength for Today. This physical life, we're known by our parents who birthed us into the world, who raised us and reared us and taught us right from wrong and how to live and what to do. They're our closest influences in life. Well, in our spiritual life, Christ should be our closest influence. He should mold our character and make us into who we ought to be. Now, you're going to be who you're raised around, physically and spiritually. Your family, your friends, your church fellowship, your teachers, your employers, your neighbors, and they contribute to your character. So Christ is the one who should most influence our spiritual character and how we are. We as the children of God have a distinct obligation and responsibility to make sure that God, through careful study of the Word of God and faith in the principles of the Bible, will untwist the wicked and sinister influences that have molded us thus far and untangle us from that so we can be free to be like Christ. We ought to want to be free and like the Lord. And so the closer we follow Him, the more we'll be like Him, and the less we'll become like the people around us. And then the people around us will see Christ in us. That's the ultimate goal of discipleship, is for them to see Christ in us. Our greatest desire should be to be like Him. He should be our idol. He should be the person we most admire. First of all, learning of the Lord is a characteristic of discipleship. Those wanting to learn about Him. And if you have a desire to learn about Him, that's a characteristic that you're following because you see Him and you desire to be like Him. People will know you are following Christ if you're learning more from His Word every day, if you're growing every day. They can see each and every 24-hour period how you're drawing closer to Him and becoming more like Him, and how you're changing before their very eyes to be more like Christ. It's like the young man who was a redneck, and he was an outdoorsman, and he met and fell in love with this young lady. His friends noticed that he began to shave every day. He began taking a bath every day. His friends noticed the next week he started using deodorant and wearing aftershave. And the next week they noticed that he wasn't using foul language anymore, and he was not cursing near as much as he used to. And the next week, instead of a ham sandwich and an apple and canned Pepsi in his lunch, he had quiche and apple pie and grape juice. She was beginning to mold him and change him. So they really knew that they had lost him as a redneck to this young lady he had fell in love with. When you fall in love with Jesus, you become more like Him. May you be like Him today, and may He be your strength for today and your hope for tomorrow.